we'll see syntax for foreign key constraint. And with this session, along with the foreign key constraint, we'll see the syntax for update, delete, and insert operation of data manipulation language. With this foreign key constraint, I will also cover some of the DML operations, insert, update, and delete, because it is required to discuss the foreign key constraint. So now how we create the foreign key constraint? To have the foreign key constraint, that particular field should be primary key of the another table. Here we will consider the department and employee table. So before going to assign the department ID to the employee, we need to create the department table. So first create here department table. Create department, create table department. Then department ID. Now this department ID I want to use in the employee table as the reference key. So as per referential integrity constraint, department ID should be primary key in the parent table. So here department is the parent table and employee is the child table. So now I'm creating department ID with the primary key, my data type, number, 5, space, primary key. So here we have created department ID, primary key, and second parameter that I'm taking in the department table, that is HOD. Is varchar 220. So here we have created table, department table. That table you can see in this schema. So department table is created here. Now my department table is the parent table. So by using insert symbol, insert command symbol, I want to insert some record into the department table. So clear this window, and I'm using now insert command. So this is the syntax for insert command. Insert is the keyword, then into, insert into table name. My table name is department. Insert is the DML statement. In bracket, you can mention the fields, those you want to insert into the table. If you are inserting all the fields in the same sequence that you have created in the department table, then no need to mention here field list. It is optional. This round bracket is optional. So here I am mentioning now department ID is the first field and my HOD is the second field. These two fields I want to insert into the table. After department is table name, the syntax is values. Now I want to insert these values into the table. So values are 101 and head of the department is Ajay. As per our previous slide that we discussed, the syntax here I am using the same name Ajay. So we have created here one record. We have inserted this record. Now how you will see this record? Here department ID is the primary key. If I will run this same query, what will happen? 101 will insert again. So here my parent key constraint will violate. See, if you observe here, student, one error is showing, that is unique constraint. Unique constraint is nothing but my primary key constraint violated and line number they have given, right? So here, why this error is coming? Because my department ID is the primary key and I am trying to insert the same record with the department ID, same department ID. So primary key is always a unique value, right? We cannot repeat this value, right? So if you clear this command, the same command I will use now, similar to, that's why I'm copying this command to insert the another record. Now, if you want to see the records in the table, we use the select command. So again, select is the DML operation here. Select start from department, semicolon. So if you execute this command, you can see one record is inserted in my table. See, one record with the DID and HOD field is inserted 101 and Ajay, right? So now I want to insert one more record here using insert command. Now my department ID should be different, otherwise error will occur here, 102 with the Vijay, with Vijay as the head of the department. So if you run this command, it will give you message always one row inserted. So if you want to see this record, you can again use here select star from table name. So here we have covered select syntax also. So all the four DML command we will cover here in the syntax, right? So along with the foreign key constraint. So select star from department. So if you run this, you will found table does not exist. Here is the spelling mistake. That's why this error. Department name spelling is different. Right? So if you execute this command, you will find here two records are inserted into the table. That is for one with the Ajay and one with the Vijay. Right? So here 101 is the department ID and that is a primary key. So here it should be unique, otherwise primary key constraint will occur, right? Error will occur here, and this HOD name can repeat because we have not applied here any constraint for the HOD, right? So now I want to create here the foreign key. So what is the syntax for creating foreign key? So while creating table, now I want to create the employee table. So the syntax is create table employee. Now I want to take employee ID as the first field. It is number, for example, with size 10. Now I assume it is a primary key. So I am creating primary key constraint for the employee ID, comma. Then second field that I want to create here is the department ID. Now my spelling is DEPT ID. This spelling and department table department ID can be different. So here my spelling of the department ID field is DEPT ID. Now I want to make this key as the foreign key. So department ID, it's a data type, number. This data type should be same as the data type that we have given in the department table, that is parent table. If you are not giving this data type and size same as the parent table, right, it will give you error. So for my department ID, size is 5, right? The same size I'm using here and same data type I'm using here. Only my department field name, right? Field name can be different, spelling can be different. Now the syntax for creating the foreign key at the column level is references. References. So which table you are referring here? Department table. So my name of the table that we want to refer here for creating the foreign key. So department in bracket, you can mention the field name. So my field name is DID. So this DID will link with this DEPT ID. So it will create the relation with the department table, right? So this syntax, we are using column level syntax. Here another syntax is what for the column level constraint name, then foreign key in bracket, constraint name, then references, and then department and DID. So that constraint name is optional. So here I have created employee table with the department field. So if you run this command, employee table will create. Now table is created. You can see this table in the schema. So employee table is created with the foreign key constraint. Now I want to insert some record into the employee table. Now in the employee table, there are two fields, EID and DEPT ID. So again, I'm using here syntax, insert into employee. Now there are only two fields and two fields I want to use insert here. So I not mention here in the bracket field name, it is optional. If you want to skip any one field, then you can mention that fields into the bracket after your table name. Values, what values I want to insert here? Employee ID. Now my employee ID is a number. So it should be what? I'm giving one integer. The name of the employee is the character field. Sorry, name we have not taken, only employee ID and department ID. So department ID we are referring from the department table. So it should be exist in the department table. So 101 department I'm giving to the employee. So if you run this, you will get the one row inserted, right? Then now I want to select this record, select star from employee. Then you will get one record is inserted into the employee table. Here my values are employee ID and department ID. Now see, we know that there is a one record. Two records are there in the department table with the 101 and 102 field. Now I'm trying to insert into the employee table, but I want to give here 103 department ID. 103 does not exist into the department table. So if you run this, you will find here foreign key constraint. This is foreign key constraint. Previously, we have seen the error for the primary key constraint. This is the foreign key constraint, unique constraint violated here. Why unique key constraint? Okay, this is the primary key constraint for the value 1 because one employee already exists. So here instead of 1, I want to give 2 employee. This is the error for primary key constraint, not for the foreign key, because 1 is the primary key in the employee table. Now we'll see the foreign key constraint error. Now this command I am executing here, first field is the employee ID and second is the department ID. Now I have inserted here department ID which is not exist in the employee table. Right? This 103 department does not exist into the department table. If you run this, you will get here this error, invalid statement. Invalid statement. So here you can see when you try to insert this record with the invalid department ID, then you will get this referential integrity constraint. So my error name is now integrity constraint, right? Parent key not found. So again, I'm inserting one more record with the employee ID 3, and I'm giving here the department ID 104, which is not exist into the department table. So again, you will get here integrity constraint error, right? Violated, parent key not found. Means this 104 does not found in the department table. Like that, student, my primary key and foreign key here take care of the consistent data. If by mistake you will try to insert here the department that is not exist in my college, right? So it will not allow you to insert the wrong value, invalid value here, right? So this is about the foreign key constraint, and we have discussed here insert symbol. Now we will see the update symbol. The same constraint will occur here if I try to update the department ID of one of the employee. So what records are there in the employee table? Select star from employee. So if you execute this command, only one record is there in the employee table, right? One more record now I will insert here. Insert into employee values. Here I want to insert now 2, employee 2 with the department 2. Now department 102 is exists. So if you run this command, it will show you one row inserted. Again, you can execute here. Select command. So if you run this select command, you will find here 2 records are inserted. Now 2 records are there in the employee table. Now using update command, I will try to change this department ID. Now we'll see the syntax for update command. So syntax for update command is update table name. Now table word is not there. Directly you can mention here the table name employee, update employee set. Update command always we use with the set operator because we want to change the value here. So update keyword will be there and set will be there to change the value. So update table name set. Here I want to set what department ID of. Now here spelling is DEPT-ID. Department ID, I want to change department ID of the one of the employee, right? So department ID equal to 103. I want to make it 103 where which employee I want to update here, where EID equal to 1. Okay? I want to update here department ID of the employee 1. So see what will happen here. So if you run this command, it will again show you the referential integrity constraint. That is integrity constraint violated, parent key not found, because I am trying to assign the 103 key which is not exist in the department table, right? So here the same error is occurring here. But if I am trying to change the department ID of the employee 1, initially it was 1, now I want to make it 2. Right? So it will work because 102 is exist. Then my output of this command is what? 1 row updated. Right? My output of the command is 1 row updated. Now we'll see here the records in employee table. Select star from employee. So if you execute this command, you will get here the department of the first employee is updated. Now it is 102. Both the employees are having 102 department ID. I hope you are clear with this. Similarly, this will happen when we try to delete any one record which is not exist into the table. Now I want to delete this record, first record from the employee table. The syntax is delete from employee, where without where clause it will delete all the records into the table. Delete from employee, this syntax will remove all the records from the table. Now I want to delete this specific record, that's why where clause is required. So delete from employee where EID equal to 1. So this command will remove the first record employee from the table. Here my output is one row deleted. And if you see here again the records, select star from employee, then you will get the one record only, right? So this is the syntax for delete command. Now we have covered the foreign key syntax at the column level, right? Then we have covered the syntax for insert, update, and delete command. Now we'll see the syntax for creating foreign key at the table level. So now we will create one more record for this, that is employee 2 and department. Department table is already exist. That same department table we will refer here for creating the table level foreign key. So here is the syntax: create table employee 2. My table name is EMP2. My first field is EMP ID number 5. Then second field is my department ID, DEP ID. Now my spelling is DEP ID here. Now I want to create here DEP ID as a foreign key using table level syntax. Now my data type is number, right? I'm declaring department ID here, but don't mention here immediately. At last only we will mention. Assume there is one more field, that is salary, right? Number. I'm declaring salary as a float here, 10,2. Right? Now after declaring all this column, I want to create the foreign key. So my syntax for creating foreign key is constraint name. My constraint name is FK1, right? Then you can mention here foreign key in bracket, which field you want to create as a foreign key. So my foreign key DEP ID I want to create as a foreign key, right? Then after this foreign key word, you can mention the references. Now which table you want to refer here? Department table. And which field of the department table you are referring here? DID, right? So this syntax will create the foreign key at the table level. This is the syntax, table level syntax for creating the foreign key constraint. So you can run this command. Table created. So you can see here my table is successfully created with the foreign key constraint. Only we have used here table level syntax. Now another cases are same as these we discussed. Once you will apply here foreign key constraint, right? It will not allow to insert the value if it is not existing in the department table, right? There will be error, right? So this is about the foreign key constraint. But if you are creating the reference key with the on delete cascade, then it will delete all the records those are associated with the foreign keys, right? It will record all the records those are exist in the employee table also. For example, if you will try to delete if you want to delete the department from the department table, then all the records those are associated with the employee table will also be deleted. So we'll see here in the syntax for creating the foreign key constraint with the on delete cascade. The syntax is same that we discussed previously, only my on delete cascade word is required here, on delete cascade. So what will happen with this? It will, if you delete the department from the department table, all the records those are associated with the employee table will be deleted, right? So this will create the table name already used by the existing constraint. Okay, here now I am creating different constraint with the different table. That's why my foreign key name should be different, right? So here, this will create the table with the table level syntax. Foreign key we have used, that does not matter, but this has created the table employee 3 with the foreign key constraint with option on delete cascade. After executing this, if you delete from department where did equal to 2. Now my employee table is having record with the department ID 2. Then my department ID is 102. Not then it will delete all the record from the employee table also. So this is showing child record found. Yes. Why this error is coming? Because this department table we have used for employee table also. There are 2-3 employee tables, right? So even though in the EMP3 table we have created foreign key constraint with the on delete cascade, but also employee and EMP table is linked with this table. That's why it is showing this foreign key constraint. So we can't delete here department from the department table, because employee and EMP table is also linked with this table. If you want to delete, if you want to see the effect of on delete cascade, you need to delete employee and EMP table. Only employee 3 should be exist, because these other tables are also linked with this department table, right? And similarly, if you use the foreign key constraint syntax with on delete set null, then it will set the null value, right, in the employee table. If you delete this table from the department table, then it will set the null value where the employee ID in the employee table department ID is 102. So these are the 2 variations of the foreign key constraint. I hope you are clear with